Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. Glad you've made it through the week. We're ready for the weekend. So I'm going to look at Psalm 63. I'm going to look at the first two verses just for a few minutes. Listen, it says, "Oh God, you are my God. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water. So I have looked for you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory." So the first thing I want to hone in on there is where he says, my soul thirsts for you and my flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land. And so he's making this equation about how bad his soul desires God. It's like he was in a desert without water. And as much as you would want water if you were in the desert without any, he says, that's how much my soul wants God and needs God. And I'm reminded of Acts chapter 17. In Acts chapter 17, Paul is talking to a group of philosophers there and in Athens, Greece. And he says, and he basically says, I want to tell you about the one true God. I want to tell you about him and who he is. And he begins to tell how this God has made every person. Chapter 17, starting in about verse 26 is where I'm picking up on. Said he has created every person. And God has determined what time in history they're going to live. He's determined what nation they're going to be in, and he has determined the boundary of that nation. In other words, where that nation is going to exist. So he's determined the point in history. He has determined what nation and the place that nation is going to be in for every single person that comes into this world. And the very next verse, verse 27, is the reason that he did this is so that men would seek him and that they would grope for him. The idea of really trying to find him, even though they might not be able to see, that they would reach, that they would grope for him, that they would reach for him, that they would feel for him, although he is not far from every one of us. You see, God has placed you in life in a position so that you will desire to seek him. Now, you may not see it as that. You may not understand it as that, but your soul thirsts for God. Your soul longs for God like in a dry and thirsty land if you don't ever make that connection and give it to him. God wants you to seek after him. That's what God wants from you. He wants you to seek after him and to reach for him and to find him so that you can be in relationship with him. He says, so I'll just back up again. God, you're my God. Early I will seek you, because that's what God wants from you. He wants you to seek him. Just start your day off seeking him. I'm not talking about a big formal thing. Just throughout your day, just talk to God. You're often talking to people and thinking about something else, right? So you can just be in your mind talking to God while you're in a business meeting or while you're talking to somebody else. But seek him early. Seek him from the very start of your day, because your soul is longing for him. Your soul desires to be in a relationship with him. And in verse 2, he says, so I've looked for you in the sanctuary to see your power and glory. Also, make sure you look for God in the worship of him, and in the worship of him with other believers, in the worship of him with other believers who have designated a place to come and meet God, his sanctuary. God, you are my God. Early I will seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water. So I have looked for you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory. Psalm 63, 1 and 2. Get out there in faith today by seeking God. Love you guys. Bye.